I stood in my bedroom, staring at the empty velvet box. The gold chain with the heart locket, the only thing I had left of Eleanor, was gone. Downstairs, my home was chaos, my daughter Jennifer's sharp commands, my son-in-law Michael's booming laughter, and my granddaughter Amber's phone complaints about Phoenix being boring. Today was Eleanor's birthday, 3 years since she passed, and I was supposed to be alone with her memory. Instead, I faced this hollow space. I searched frantically. My breathing quickened, the tremor of panic returning, the same panic I felt in those last hours at the hospital. 42 years of marriage, and I kept only that necklace, safe, untouched, except on days like today. I walked downstairs, navigating around the mess my family had made. I found Jennifer in the kitchen, chopping vegetables with aggressive precision. "Jennifer," I said, trying to keep my voice level. "Eleanor's necklace is gone. I've checked everywhere." She sighed, that particular exhale of a burden she grudgingly carried. "Check your room. You probably forgot where you put it. It was your mother's. The only thing I kept. Then you should have been more careful with it." She stopped chopping, set down the knife, and turned to face me. Her eyes held no warmth at all. "Jennifer, please. I need to know what happened to it." "Fine," she said, without apology. "I sold it. Desert Gold Pawn Shop over on Thomas Road. We needed $800 for Hawaii. You said no, I asked, so I found another way." She resumed chopping. From the living room, Michael's voice drifted over, lazy and satisfied. "It was just sitting there, Wilbur. Eleanor's gone. Dead people don't need jewelry." Amber laughed from the stairs. "Grandpa, you're being dramatic. It's just a necklace. Mom does an awesome vacation." I looked at the three of them, my daughter, her husband, her daughter, staring back with the collective expression of people waiting for an inconvenience to remove itself. I walked back upstairs, closed the door, and sat on the bed. The empty box rested on my knees. I felt something cold and hard settle in my chest, clarity. They had sold the one thing I treasured for a vacation. My hands were steady as I reached for my phone. I started calling pawn shops, describing the necklace the same way every time: gold chain, heart locket, inscription inside reads, "Forever W&E." The sixth call went differently. "Desert Gold Pawn. This is Harold. I'm looking for a gold necklace with a heart locket. It was sold to you yesterday." "Oh yes, I remember that piece. Beautiful craftsmanship. Are you the husband?" His voice held genuine sympathy. "Sir, there's something you should know about that locket." I straightened. "What do you mean?" When I was examining it, the locket opened. There was a small note inside. I removed it carefully. It has numbers written on it. Bank something. 40 years of marriage, and I'd never known the locket opened. Eleanor had worn it against her skin every single day, and I'd never thought to look for a clasp. "Did you tell the woman who sold it?" "She was already gone. Honestly, I'm not sure she knew the locket opened either. She seemed in a hurry." "I need to buy it back," I said, the words urgent. "How much?" I gave her $800. Fair value is closer to $1,200. "I'll pay the $1,200. Can I get it today?" "Come by any time before 6. "I'll hold it for you. And sir," he paused, "I won't resell this to anyone else. It's yours." I thanked him, got the address, and walked downstairs. My family was still exactly where I left them. I walked out the front door. I found Harold Chen at Desert Gold Pawn. He carefully unwrapped the necklace. There it was, Eleanor's gold heart, catching the fluorescent light. "She your daughter?" Harold asked quietly. I didn't answer. I just counted out $1,200 cash. He pushed a small envelope across the counter. "The note," he said. "I put it in here for safekeeping. Take care of it this time," he added gently. I drove 3 blocks before I had to pull over, my hands shaking again as the adrenaline subsided. I held the necklace up to the sun, finding the tiny indentation, the clasp, on the side of the heart. I pressed it. The locket sprang open. Inside, rolled tight, was a piece of paper no bigger than my pinky nail. I unrolled it carefully against my thigh. Eleanor's handwriting, microscopic but unmistakable, Bank of Arizona, box number 4782. Eleanor had a safety deposit box she'd never told me about. What had she hidden, and why? I drove home in a daze. The next morning, I drove downtown to the Bank of Arizona's main branch. I need to access a safety deposit box, I told the woman at the desk. I showed her Eleanor's death certificate and my driver's license. The box was opened last in 2019, she said, typing information into her computer. No activity since 2019. Eleanor had been diagnosed with cancer in early 2022. She had put this secret key into her locket 3 years before her diagnosis. Lisa led me to a private viewing room and returned with the box, number 4782. I closed the door and lifted the lid. Inside, resting on a bed of old cotton, were 2 things. A thick, sealed envelope addressed to me in Eleanor's handwriting, Wilbur, when you really need it. A large, official-looking document, a quitclaim deed. I ignored the envelope for a moment, my eyes fixed on the deed. It was a transfer of property, dated 2019. I scanned the legal language and found the names, Jennifer and Michael. And the address, my house. The deed showed that in 2019, Eleanor had secretly taken my name off the house's title and transferred full ownership to Jennifer and Michael. I wasn't just living with my children, I was living in their house, legally, 3 years before Eleanor's death. This explained everything, the lack of respect, the condescension, the feeling that I was a burden. They weren't staying with me out of charity, they were letting me stay in their home. I suddenly understood why Jennifer had felt so entitled to my space, and why she'd sold Eleanor's last keepsake without a second thought. She already owned the house. My hands didn't shake. The cold clarity returned. I picked up the thick envelope addressed to me, Wilbur, when you really need it. I was certain that time was now. My wife passed in 2022, I explained to Lisa at the bank. She must have set this up first. Lisa, her professional mask softening with sympathy, led me through a heavy door into the vault. She retrieved the long metal box, number 4782, and guided me to a small, private viewing room. I sat alone, unable to open the box immediately. 42 years of marriage, and Eleanor had kept this secret for 6 years. Finally, I lifted the lid. Inside were stacks of cash, $100 bills bundled with rubber bands. I counted quickly, $27,000. And underneath, the sealed envelope, Wilbur, when you really need it. I broke the seal and unfolded 2 pages covered in Eleanor's neat, measured script. My dearest Wilbur, if you're reading this, I'm gone and you see what I've hidden. The opening line hit me. I saved this money over 30 years, small amounts from each paycheck you never notice. Don't be angry with me for the secret. I did it because I love you and I know what's coming. I read faster, my hand trembling. Jennifer has always been difficult. I saw her true nature then, the way she treats people as transactions, the way nothing is ever enough. After I'm gone, she'll see you as nothing more than a resource to drain. Michael will encourage it. He's always been a user. And Amber learns from her parents. I'm sorry to write these things, but you need to hear them. My jaw clenched. Eleanor had seen everything I'd refused to acknowledge. These savings are for you, my dear. $27,000 to protect yourself when you finally see what I saw. Don't let them turn you into a victim. You're stronger than you know. Be strong. Live for yourself. The house, the money, everything. It's yours. You worked for it. Don't let them take it out of guilt or obligation. I pressed the letter against my chest. The money, combined with the other $20,000 in the box I'd estimated, meant Eleanor had saved almost $50,000 to protect me. I wish I could be there to protect you, but I trust you'll know what to do when the time comes. You've always been thoughtful, methodical, careful. Use those strengths now. Don't be pushed around. And know that I love you more than anything in this world. Forever yours, Eleanor. I folded the letter and placed it in my jacket pocket, over my heart. The drive home happened on autopilot. When I pulled into the driveway, I saw them, Jennifer on the couch, Michael in my recliner, Amber painting her nails at the kitchen table. My house, my space, occupied like conquered territory. I walked inside. Jennifer noticed the necklace first. "Is that Mom's necklace?" "You got it back." "Hand it over." "We sold it." "That makes it ours now." "You can't just take it back." "I bought it back." "Paid $1,200. "With whose money?" She flushed. "That's our inheritance you're wasting." Michael pushed up from the recliner. "Jennifer's right. It was your dead wife. You've got to move on, Wilbur. Face reality. You're old. This house is too big for you anyway. Sign it over now. Save everyone the trouble later." "Grandpa, you're being selfish," Amber chimed in. "Mom and Dad need security. They live here rent-free. That's what family does. We take care of each other." "Is that what this is?" I asked quietly. "Care?" Nobody answered. I walked to my bedroom, closed the door, and took out Eleanor's letter. "Be strong, live for yourself." I retrieved a legal pad and pen. At the top, I wrote, March 17th, actions taken. I started before dawn. My engineering training kicked in, identify the problem, gather data, develop solutions, execute systematically. I photographed Michael's belongings scattered across the living room, Amber's makeup covering the bathroom counter, Jennifer's clothes occupying the guest room. I photographed my receipts for food, my utility bills, all in my name, unpaid by them. Over the next 2 weeks, I pulled 3 years of financial documents, my paid-off 1985 house deed, property tax records paid by me, and utility bills showing zero contribution from Jennifer's family. On March 25th, I installed a hidden camera disguised as a smoke detector. Single-party consent was legal in Arizona. The recordings were invaluable. I sat with my door locked, watching and labeling. "Michael, when this house is ours, the first thing I'm doing is remodeling. This place is stuck in 1985. Jennifer might not have to wait too long." "He's what, 67? How many years did he get left, really?" "Amber, my grandpa is such a pain. We needed Hawaii money. He wouldn't give it to us, so Mom took care of it herself. Honestly, I'll be glad when this house is ours and we don't have to deal with his drama." I tackled the financial forensics, creating a spreadsheet of all loans to Michael, $500 for car repairs, $1,200 for dental, $2,000 for an investment opportunity. The final total loaned, $18,500. The repayment column, zeros. By early April, my folder was thick, photographs, video transcripts, financial records, and the original deed. It was time. I searched elder law attorney Phoenix and found Patricia Morrison. Her office was clean, sharp, and professional. "Mr. Davis, tell me what's going on." I placed my evidence folder on her desk. "My daughter and her family have been living in my house for 3 years. They don't pay rent or contribute anything. They've been exploiting me financially and they're waiting for me to die so they can take everything." Patricia's expression didn't change. She opened the folder, began reviewing the documents, and made notes. "Do they pay anything toward household expenses?" "No." "Have you asked them to leave?" Patricia asked. "Not formally. I served them with the rental agreement." "Good. We'll do this properly." Patricia continued through the folder for 20 minutes. Finally, she looked up. "Mr. Davis, this documentation is excellent. Very thorough." I explained that they hadn't paid $1 in 3 years, and Jennifer claimed family doesn't charge family. "Under Arizona law, they're tenants at will," she explained. "We've established rental terms. If they refuse to pay, we have grounds for eviction. If they contest it, maybe 3 months. But with your evidence of their behavior, the financial exploitation documented this thoroughly. I don't think it'll take that long. Most people leave when they realize you're serious." I signed the $3,000 retainer with a steady hand. I'm asking you to consider that sometimes the best lessons come from mercy rather than punishment. Patricia arranged for formal service. On April 10th at 2 p.m., a notary, Deborah Klein, arrived at my door and served Jennifer with the rental agreement, $1,500 monthly rent, 50% of utilities, and a 30-day notice period for noncompliance. Jennifer snatched the document. "This is insane." She whirled on me. "What is this? Some kind of joke? This house belongs to us. This house belongs to me. The deed is in my name. Your tenants." Michael emerged, reading the document quickly, his face straining. "You're not thinking clearly, Wilbur. Maybe you need a doctor to evaluate your mental state. We'll see what a judge says." Competency hearing. "You're welcome to try," I said. "The terms are reasonable. If you're not paying rent, you need to leave. You have 30 days. The next day, I went to the bank. My jaw tightened when the manager told me Jennifer had attempted to access my accounts the very day I met with Patricia, claiming to act on my behalf. I had her access removed, flagged the account for fraud, and printed the security log. I then met with an estate specialist and revised my will, leaving everything not to Jennifer, but to 3 charities, the Phoenix Homeless Coalition, the Memory Research Foundation, and the Arizona Elder Rights Advocacy Center. Jennifer began violating my privacy. I caught her going through my mail, finding open letters from Patricia in the kitchen drawer. Federal crime, mail tampering. I photographed the evidence. On the evening of April 14th, Michael escalated further. He intentionally blocked the hallway, demanding to talk about the rent. Later, as I was making tea, he entered the kitchen, got too close, and when I tried to step around him, he shoved me. "Careful, old man. Accidents happen at your age." The rear camera captured it perfectly, the push, my stumble, his satisfied smirk. I took my tea to my room and compiled everything, the video of the assault, the photos of intercepted mail, and the bank fraud attempts. I emailed Patricia the complete emergency eviction evidence folder. Her response came within minutes, "Call me immediately. This changes everything." "Wilbur," she said on the phone. "The push is assault. The mail tampering is federal. The bank fraud attempt is elder exploitation. We are not waiting 30 days. I'm filing for emergency eviction and a temporary restraining order based on domestic violence and financial abuse. Court hearing within 2 weeks. They are going to regret escalating this." A few days later, Jennifer brought her own attorney, Mr. Carlson, to the house. I let him speak. "Mr. Davis, I've reviewed the rental agreement." "Sir, may I speak frankly?" "You're well within your rights. The house is titled in your name alone. The rental terms are reasonable. My legal advice to my client is to comply with the agreement or relocate." Jennifer's face crumpled. "That can't be right. Tell him he's wrong, Dad." "He's not wrong." Carlson left, wanting distance from the hysteria. Jennifer turned on me. "I can't believe you're doing this. Mom would be devastated." "Your mother left me a letter," I said quietly. "She warned me about you." Jennifer froze. "What letter?" "You're lying." She knew exactly who you were. She was right about everything. Her tears stopped as if a switch had flipped. "You're going to regret this." She launched her campaign. Michael blocked my path, Amber posted online about my supposed memory problems, and Jennifer knocked on my door with manufactured tears and chest pains. But Eleanor's letter had inoculated me against the manipulation. I simply told her, "You have 29 days left." On April 20th, precisely 10 days after the rental agreement was served, I was sitting at my desk when the doorbell rang. I opened the door to 2 uniformed sheriff's deputies and Patricia Morrison. "Mr. Davis," Patricia said calmly. "We have the order." The deputies walked past me into the living room. Michael, sprawled on the couch watching TV, sat bolt upright. Jennifer came running from the kitchen. "Jennifer Thompson and Michael Thompson," the lead deputy stated, holding a document. "We are serving you with an emergency eviction and protective order filed by the Maricopa County Superior Court." Effective immediately. You are being evicted on grounds of documented elder abuse and assault. You have 1 hour to gather necessary clothing and medication. If you attempt to contact Mr. Davis, you will be arrested. Jennifer stared at the deputy, her face white. Emergency? That's not legal. We have 30 days. The 30-day notice was superseded by the temporary restraining order based on the evidence of assault, Patricia stated, holding up my evidence folder. Your husband shoved Mr. Davis in the kitchen. We have it on video. We also have evidence of mail tampering and attempted bank fraud. Michael's eyes darted between the deputy, the camera disguised as a smoke detector, and me. He was speechless, his confident smirk finally, utterly gone. Within the hour, Jennifer, Michael, and a tearful Amber, who finally understood that the house was not theirs, were packing their possessions into a beat-up sedan. The deputies stood watch as they carried out the shopping bags and clothes. As Michael drove away, I stood in the doorway, watching my street. The house was finally, wonderfully, silent. I walked to my recliner, sat down, and reached under my shirt. I touched Eleanor's heart locket. I opened it and looked at the note, Bank of Arizona, box number 4782. I was safe. I was secure. I was alone in the home Eleanor and I had built, protected by her love, her foresight, and the $27,000 she had saved for me, an act of true devotion hidden inside a gold locket for 40 years. I had the money, the house, and the peace of mind. The only thing they took was the one thing they couldn't touch, my love for their mother. Have you asked them to leave? Patricia asked. Not formally. I served them with the rental agreement. Good. We'll do this properly. She continued reviewing the documentation. Mr. Davis, this documentation is excellent. Very thorough. 2 weeks after the initial serving of the rental agreement, I had compiled a comprehensive package, video of Michael pushing me, assault, photos of tampered mail, federal offense, and multiple bank fraud notifications, elder financial exploitation. Patricia received the evidence and called immediately. Wilbur, she said. This is textbook elder financial exploitation combined with the assault and mail tampering. We have an overwhelming case. Emergency hearing is scheduled for May 2nd. They won't know what hit them. The emergency hearing arrived. Across the aisle, Jennifer, Michael, and Carlson avoided my gaze. Judge Margaret Stone looked up from the documents. I've reviewed the evidence submitted by Ms. Morrison. The videos are particularly disturbing. She cut off Carlson's excuses. Assault is assault regardless of family relationship, and the mail tampering is a federal offense. She issued a temporary restraining order, TRO, forcing Michael to maintain a 10-foot distance from me within the house. The full eviction hearing was set for July 2nd. The family returned home, hostile but subdued. They continued to ignore the $1,500 rent demand, squatting and betting I would give up. In mid-May, I made a radical decision. I want to sell the house. Patricia paused. Wilbur, that's radical, but strategically brilliant. Remove the asset they're fighting over. I listed the house immediately for $385,000. When the agent, Robert Santos, came to photograph the property, Jennifer finally understood. Dad, what's going on? She asked, her face draining of color on the patio. I'm selling the house. No, you can't. This house is ours. It's my house. My name on the deed, my decision. A young couple, Sarah and Marcus Chen, made an offer almost immediately. I accepted their offer of $383,000 with a fast close. Speed was more important than the remaining $2,000. I woke before dawn on July 2nd, the day of the full eviction hearing. I wore the dark suit from Eleanor's funeral. In the courtroom, Patricia played the video of Michael pushing me. She displayed the financial spreadsheet documenting $18,500 in unrepaid loans and my medical records showing stress-related symptoms. Judge Stone silenced Carlson's attempts to speak. I've heard enough. The financial exploitation is clear and documented. The video evidence shows a pattern of intimidation and harassment. She looked directly at Jennifer. Miss Thompson, you were given reasonable rental terms. You refused. You were given multiple opportunities to vacate voluntarily. You refused. I'm granting the eviction. You have 30 days until August 1st. If you're not up by then, the sheriff will execute the order. Outside the courtroom, Jennifer approached me, tears streaming. Dad, please don't do this. We'll change. We'll pay the rent. It's too late for that. You had 3 years after your mother died to act like family. You chose to act like parasites instead. The family left on July 31st, a day before the deadline, in a rental truck. I stayed in my locked bedroom, listening to the sounds of their defeat. I walked through the empty rooms as the evening light slanted through the windows. Deep scratches marked the living room floor. Michael had punched a fist-sized hole in the master bedroom wall. I photographed the damage for the final legal accounting. I sat in the silence, finally free. The house was sold, the money safe, and the parasites expelled. I reached for Eleanor's necklace under my shirt. She had not only protected me from their greed with her hidden savings, but her foresight had given me the strength and method to reclaim my life. The house was leaving, but the memory and the justice were mine. On July 19th, standing in the center of the living room, I surveyed the damage left by Jennifer's family. Gouged walls, stained floors, and broken fixtures, it was the final, physical proof of who they were. I held my phone, documenting the destruction, not for damages, but for validation. Eleanor had been right about everything. Her letter had prepared me for this final act of disrespect. The for sale sign now had a sold writer attached. For weeks until closing, for weeks until I left this house forever. The silence was extraordinary, a profound gift of freedom. 3 days later, I was browsing real estate listings from my laptop in the empty house. I quickly found a property in a quiet Scottsdale 55-plus community, a second-floor apartment with mountain views and security. I bought it immediately with a cash offer using Eleanor's hidden money and part of the house proceeds. The transaction was finalized in early August. No mortgage. The freedom was absolute. I spent a week transforming the second bedroom into a workshop. I set up my workbench, installed pegboard, and arranged storage bins. When I tested the new table saw, the familiar sound was deeply satisfying. For the first time in years, I was creating something rather than managing someone else's chaos. I bought oak and began cutting pieces for a shadow box for Eleanor's necklace. August 15th arrived, closing day. I met Sarah and Marcus Chin at the title company. We signed documents, and the keys were passed to the Chins. "Thank you for trusting us with your home," Sarah said. "Make it yours now." "That's what it needs," I replied. I walked out carrying only a box of photos and Eleanor's necklace. I drove directly to my new apartment. That evening, I opened the letter the Chins had given me. "We want you to know we understand the sacrifice you made. We'll fill it with love and laughter. You gave us more than a house. You gave us a future." I placed it in my desk drawer, beside Eleanor's letter. Jennifer tried calling me. I watched her name, and then Michael's and Amber's, appear on my screen, letting them go to voicemail. I opened my phone settings and blocked their numbers. I changed my number the next day. A late August attempt by Jennifer to knock on my apartment door and plead was met with my complete, silent withdrawal. I felt no guilt, I felt free. 2 days before the anniversary of Eleanor's death, I finalized my estate with Patricia Morrison. She confirmed my new will. Everything goes to the 3 charities. Jennifer was explicitly excluded, with an explanation. To my daughter, Jennifer Davis Thompson, I leave nothing as she has already received substantial financial support during my lifetime and has demonstrated through her actions that she values my assets more than our relationship. Patricia also confirmed that Jennifer's frantic petition for guardianship had been dismissed. The doctor's report stated I was cognitively sharp, physically healthy, fully competent. August 28th arrived. 3 years exactly since Eleanor's death. I carefully removed her necklace from the completed oak shadow box, which I'd mounted on the living room wall. I sat, held the necklace in one hand, and reread her letter. "Be strong. Live for yourself." "I did it, Eleanor," I whispered to the quiet room. "I'm free." Tears came, not from sadness, but from release. That afternoon, I met Dennis Morrison, an old friend from my engineering days. We talked for 2 hours. I'm living alone now by choice, I told him. Dennis grinned. Good for you, Wilbur. That wasn't a life before. No, but it is now. How about chess next Thursday? That evening, I stood in my workshop, working on another project. The future was unwritten. I didn't need armor anymore. I smiled, a genuine, peaceful smile, and turned toward my kitchen to make dinner, just for myself. Exactly enough. If you like this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions of this story in the comments. To listen to the next story, click on the box on the right. Thank you for watching.